Asian financial markets opened the week on a cautious note as investors weighed the growing risk of a partial shutdown of the U.S. government, a development that could ripple across global markets and dent confidence. Concerns about the political stalemate in Washington, combined with ongoing uncertainty about U.S. interest rates and a fragile Chinese economy, kept sentiment subdued across regional equities. In Tokyo, the Nikkei edged lower after early gains, reflecting nervousness among foreign investors who have been highly sensitive to developments in Washington. The yen, often viewed as a safe haven currency during times of geopolitical and financial stress, firmed slightly against the dollar, further capping enthusiasm for Japanese exporters. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index also traded flat, while mainland Chinese markets saw only marginal movement as traders grappled with a sluggish property sector and muted consumer confidence. The potential U.S. government shutdown stems from deep partisan divisions in Congress over federal spending. Without a funding agreement, large parts of the U.S. government could cease operations, disrupting everything from economic data releases to federal paychecks. While shutdowns have historically been temporary, investors worry that prolonged gridlock could undermine America's economic momentum at a time when global growth is already slowing. For Asian markets, the implications are significant. A U.S. shutdown could temporarily delay important data such as the monthly employment report or inflation readings, figures closely watched by the Federal Reserve as it calibrates monetary policy. With uncertainty surrounding the Fed's interest rate path, any disruption to data flow complicates the outlook. Investors in Asia, who rely on clear signals from the U.S. central bank, fear increased volatility. Bond markets have also reflected the caution. U.S. Treasury yields eased slightly in early Asian trading as some investors sought safety, though yields remain near multi-year highs. This has put pressure on Asian currencies, with the South Korean won and Indian rupee trading defensively. Equity investors across the region, particularly in export-driven economies, remain concerned that tighter U.S. financial conditions could weaken demand for Asian goods. At the same time, China remains a critical piece of the global puzzle. Beijing's policymakers have rolled out several measures to stabilize growth, including targeted stimulus for infrastructure and modest rate cuts. However, markets have responded tepidly, skeptical that these measures are enough to offset structural challenges in real estate and consumer demand. As a result, Asian equities have found little cushion from China even as they face headwinds from the U.S. Analysts note that while the direct economic impact of a short U.S. government shutdown may be limited, the political spectacle underscores a broader theme: waning investor confidence in Washington's ability to manage fiscal policy. With U.S. debt levels at record highs and credit rating agencies already issuing warnings about America's fiscal trajectory, a shutdown could amplify concerns about long-term stability. For now, investors are treading carefully. Trading volumes across major Asian markets were lighter than usual, reflecting the wait-and-see approach. Gold prices inched higher, another sign of caution, while oil markets steadied after recent volatility driven by supply concerns. Looking ahead, much depends on developments in Washington. Should lawmakers strike a last-minute deal to avert a shutdown, markets may breathe a sigh of relief. However, if the deadlock drags on, Asian markets could see renewed volatility as investors brace for the economic and political fallout. In short, Asia's cautious tone underscores the interconnectedness of global finance. Even a domestic U.S. budget battle can reverberate thousands of miles away, shaping decisions in Tokyo, Shanghai, and beyond. For investors, the coming days will be a test not only of political brinkmanship in Washington but also of the resilience of Asian markets facing a landscape defined by uncertainty.